Yo guys, in today's episode we're going to dive into parallel this game gameplay, and this game is getting traction. And actually, after playing a while, I know why. So I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about this game in this video. And sorry for my Vader voice. I've been sick for last week. I have a runny nose and the sore throat, but basically that's it. So please guys, smash the like button and let's go. Okay guys, so at the beginning I'm just gonna go through selected features in the main menu and stuff like that to show you everything from the ground up, and then I'm just gonna make a match so you guys can see what's up in the practice. Okay guys, so game is super easy to learn, and once you start, first of all it's a trading card game. Yeah, so if you have played Magic the Gathering, I see very many similarities. So upon the entry you will get like a tutorial, and it's really nicely done. I didn't have any problems to get on to play the game. Obviously it doesn't show everything you can do, and there's a lot you can do in this game besides the things that you can do in tutorial, but gives you the general concept of the cards and everything. Okay, so after completing tutorial you basically can jump into the game, and I recommend you guys you go through rookie mode at the beginning. Why? Because you're going basically through all the factions that there are in the game, and by winning you play against real opponents or AI. Sometimes if you just cannot find any opponent that is on your level or whatever, maybe you're in a time zone that less people are playing or whatever, then it will give you an AI opponent. And it's also cool because you're training against AI, and you, after completing all those, for example, matches, so you need to win 5 matches in each deck, you basically learn everything what's going on in the certain deck, and you can find out what strategy, what kind of deck suits you the most, what kind of gameplay style suits you the best. And on top of that you can get some reward in form of additional card packs, avatars and stuff like that. So the real difference also between this game and Magic the Gathering is, in Magic the Gathering you had lands that you basically had to tap to get mana. In this game you will need to bank your cards. So I will later show an example of the game. So yeah guys, let's quickly go through those decks. Core, basically this is a deck that has some units, and you play upgrades on those units, and when they upgrade it they get like additional features. For example, this dude, when you upgrade him with any upgrade, he gets +1/+1 and shielded. Yeah, and you have upgrades form of like arm that allows you to strike first before the creature strikes. Normally when the creatures clash, the damage is dealt at the same time, but when you have armed, the creature that has armed deals the damage first, and then if the receiver survives, he can damage back. So Core, pretty cool faction, and it's pretty simple to start playing with. Earthens is a mix of green and light and white deck from Magic the Gathering. You have some defenders, the way to pacify the units that are attacking you, and also a way to regain life. It's not my favorite type of gameplay, so I'm not really I did play the rookie with this, but it's like not a deck that I would be really myself be bothering with. But they have some strong creatures, and they can really make a punch later on. Cathari, this is a really cool deck. You can basically, it's like clones, so you have a lot of units that are pretty cheap, and you basically, each one of them gives another one something. So you just throw out the army of clones and you attack the opponent. If they don't control you really fast, you can basically grow pretty quickly with this deck and do some serious damage. Also really cool deck. You have Markolians, and this is also a nice deck. It's like pure power. You have pretty weak units, but they have like armed or whatever, they can boost themselves, and you have some form of dealing direct damage to player or to units. So like destruction, Yeah, pretty cool. Like very offensive deck. One of my favorites, I would say. And the cards look sick. Like I love how my opponents look. And then you have Shroud, and Shroud I think is one of the most choices, I would say. So basically you are kind of works like a black deck, black with blue, I would say, from Magic the Gathering, of course. So you have this type of units that can banish, and in general banish is like destroy, but it doesn't go to waste, it just go to Singularity. And Singularity is a special form of graveyard that Shroud is using. Then you can basically play with the Singularity, so like take cards that were banished out, back to the field and stuff like that. A little bit more advanced, I would say, but then again, if you're playing the rookie matches and learn the game with all the decks, you should have no problem to understand like what is the core concept of every deck. So in the form of how the game is constructed, how easy it is to onboard new players, I would say it's very easy. I didn't have any problem to understand any of those machinations that are going on in the game, and I believe that in general you will not have as well. Okay guys, maybe let's play a ranked match. I'm going to use a starter Shroud deck. It suits me the best. Okay, I'm playing against Core. Okay, so at the beginning I have cards that I can basically keep or reshuffle. I'm gonna shuffle only one. Okay, so it's my opponent's turn. UI, as you can see, looks really cool. In the right side, you can see that there's a bank. User interface is really nice. As you can see, here's your hand, what cards you have. If you click on the right, you can zoom in on the card. You have lore, you have keywords and stuff like that. The main difference how you get energy to play the cards is by storing units in the bank, units or whatever cards you have. And you have 4 types of cards. You have units, which is obviously like a creature that you put on the table and it stays there. It has its attack and it has its health, and after it's being defeated it goes to a waste. Well, Shroud is a little bit different because it also has Singularity. This is something like a special graveyard for cards that are basically like banished from the game. So you see, like this guy has like 2 attack, 3 health, so it's, well, more powerful than my card, definitely. Basically, this is the player hit points. Whoever kills the opponent first, so depletes those to 0, he wins the game. Paragon is like your leader that has a special ability, like passive ability, and also you can play it. Here's the cost of the card. So for example, this costs 5, so I need to have 5 banked cards to play it right now. This allows me to choose a card from my deck and basically play it on the table. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to banish this card, so those guys will get boosted. Boom. They boost every time I'm banishing a card. If you play against Core, I don't really like how they're boosting. They can boost really fast because they're throwing upgrades. Upgrade is another type of card where you just basically, you need to have a unit first, and then on top of the unit you can play the upgrade and it stays with the unit. And then you have effect. Effect is like one time, like the one I used with the banish, and now he used his ability. This is a defender, 3 on 6. So if I would want to attack directly him, he would have an option to defend. So match takes around 10 to 15 minutes. Well, depending on the player skill level, and of course also depending on the deck that you have. A lot of people have, you know, upgraded decks. I'm playing the starter deck. It's pretty decent. It allows to win some games. So this is a unit that also is a defender. So defenders have this option that whenever someone is attacking you, you can basically choose like, oh, do I take it, or do I first block it with my defender? Things looking good for now. He has only 3 cards. I have... Okay, he played something. Master. So upon the entry, he can choose one effect. Master gives you that. There's also an assault where you deal damage. So like when you deal damage to a player, then you have additional option if the card has some form of assault. Armed is like a first strike. So when cards clash, the armed unit normally like they take their damage at the same time, but when you have armed creature, it will strike first, and then if the creature that gets struck survives, then it applies with the damage. And now I'm going to use this dude because he's dealing 1 damage, so I'm gonna get this, and he gets banished. Oh, he gets banished, so those boys, the boy will be now tougher, so he can attack, and he can attack. Basically, I already did put into the bank. Some cards allow you to take stuff out of the bank to the table, so it's actually really important to what card are you banking, because later on you might be able to use it. That is actually a really cool feature. I like how this game allows you to basically do really cool combos, and the overall UI is really slick. The only problem for me is that sometimes those numbers are just not visible. It's really hard to see like, oh, how much this unit has. You have them in your hand, but you don't see the numbers that they have. So if it's a unit, I think if they would do something like that the unit has, those numbers are written on the top. Well, I guess I'm gonna win this match. Yeah, the guy just didn't move, so I guess he just wants me to obliterate him. Yeah. All right, and we won. Okay, so after the game you get rankings. At the end of each season, I believe that you're gonna get additional rewards after you play the rank. So here is my potential earnings. So if I would play an NFT deck, every victory would grant me something here. If I would have additionally parallel avatars, they would boost my earnings in 20-30% more. So I guess the higher your ranking, maybe the potential earnings can be bigger. So to boost your earnings in the game, you have to have one of these bad boys. And obviously you have 5 factions, and those avatars are represented by 5 factions. If your avatar matches the same deck that you're playing, of course, deck also has to be an NFT, then you'll basically get this boost for earnings. And another thing is that if you go to the shop right now, I think you can also buy like a starter deck. So it's the same type of deck that you have free to play edition, but it costs like 0.05 ETH deck. But with this you will also get like 5 or 10 booster packs, non-NFT for the game. So it's something, and you can earn money. So maybe in the future, when this game will get traction, you actually can get some return. I really don't want to be saying like, yo guys, play this because it's a future and you can live out of the, kicking someone else's ass in the trading card game. No, I don't think so. But if you're really good, then probably yes. But most of the players will probably not earn money, at least that's my opinion. But on top, you also get experience points. Replication, this is going to be another feature that is not yet implemented. But then, okay, here's your ranking. And you can play also versus AI to train a little bit. You can play unranked. There's like a lot of stuff. A way for you to get new cards is basically pretty easy. You need to collect experience points. And as you can see, experience points, every level that you get basically gives you a booster pack. And the way you can collect the experience is basically by winning matches. So every match you win, you will get some experience, but also you will see that there's a weekly challenge. You have like 4 weekly challenge which grants you the boost. It's really cool incentive to just, you know, do daily logins or weekly logins. And then you have missions where you have like, you know, just something that, for example, play 3 relics. You do 3 relics and you get another boost of 550 experience. You also get 1 reroll per day, free reroll. And for now, like you see, win 3 games with Markolian. So we re-rolled it. Maybe this can suit you better if there's something that you really don't like. And there's new mission coming in 10 hours, of course. So this is basically a really cool way to get those booster packs. Of course, those cards are not NFTs, yeah? So, but they will help you to build the deck you want, and also they will help you to check those cards before you decide to buy them, maybe in practice, you know, if you are really willing to go heavy on this game. They have lots of cards. With the new updates they will have even more, and right now I would say it's pretty balanced. I mean, sometimes the matchmaking system is sometimes pretty faulty. Sometimes you can get the player that is just has a you know, super deck, and it's really hard to beat with the starter deck if you don't really have any cards yet. But then again, it's early access and this is like beta, so those things can be forgiven. Once the game you know, develop, I think they will fix a lot of stuff, I hope, at least. So yeah, guys, this is Parallel. Goddamn, first time I said it right. A way for you to get new cards is basically pretty easy. You need to have glints. Those you can buy in the shop on the website. So as you can see, $4, there's like glint bundles. So this is basically like premium currency, in-game currency, yeah? But those you will not be able to switch into NFTs. Those cards are like non-NFTs. 300 glints to purchase a deck, purchase a booster pack, and of course the cards, NFT cards, you can buy on OpenSea right now, and like they are also in base, so you can basically buy them without paying that much of the gas fees, because base is very cheap. It's Coinbase layer 2, so very good in my opinion, because it also gets a lot of traction. People are talking about it. There are some airdrop speculation as well for that. So yeah, that's also very cool. All right, guys, so to be honest, I am super impressed for the progress that they've made for like those 2 years that they were making this game. I really like how the decks, the lore is correlated with how the decks represent each faction, like what is the game strategy for specific decks and how it reflected by the lore. Overall, I think that its game is pretty balanced, although, well, I found it was most easy for me to win with Shroud, and I also see a lot of people are playing this deck. Didn't really, I'm using only the standard deck, so I guess it's really hard to say which one is the best. UI looks good. The thing I don't really like is the how do you read cards. Like, it's really hard to read those numbers, like how much attack, how much defense it has. I wish they would be displayed a little bit more clean, because sometimes my eyes just are maybe tired or whatever. I have a problem to read like those cards properly, especially when sometimes there's like very intense color in the background, and those numbers are not really well visible. So yeah. So also, guys, if you don't have access to the game, you can always DM me on Twitter or on Discord. I can help you to get access there, but I think like if you're just active on the server, you can also get access to the game. But in general, game is super fun, and this is just early access, so they're improving it all the time. So I think that it has super high potential. Plus, the whole Echelon Prime token will be powering all their future games, also the Colony that they have in store, which is additional cool feature for the token itself, for the game. So, guys, if you like the video, please smash the like button, subscribe, and see you next time. Yo.